Life speaks. It speaks through struggles and success, through music and messages, the preconceived and the unexpected. Whether you are in the depths of the valley or in the midst of your mountaintop experience, everyone needs to be encouraged from time to time. Here we will share stories of strength, testimonies of triumph, verses of victory, observations, and information meant to touch the heart and uplift the soul, to keep you on your path of purpose and navigate this thing called life with power and authority. This is Andrea L. Hines, and I'm your host for When Life Speaks, here on ALH Broadcasting, an affiliate of the Streaming Inspirational Broadcast Network. I am glad you accepted the invitation to join us tonight. There's something in this broadcast just for you, and if it is going to be a blessing to your life, it will be to someone else as well. So share, tag, start a watch party, and invite someone you know to join us. Then turn down the volume of life and get ready to receive, so that when life speaks, you'll speak life. Good evening, good evening. This is Andrea Hines. I'm your host for When Life Speaks. That's where you've tuned in this evening, and I am so happy to be able to open the doors and invite you in for just a little while. I hope you have had an absolutely amazing day today. It is always good to be able to be with you on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. God always does some amazing things during our broadcasts, and I'm glad that you are a part of that. Let's see who's popped in this evening. Hey there, Macy. Macy is a faithful listener. Glad to have you in the house, and you as well, Linda. Linda's also part of our morning crew and our night shift. And there's Miss Donna Cooper. Good evening to you, Donna. Glad to have you in the house tonight. You know, we have different segments of our program here on When Life Speaks. We have stories of strength. We have testimonies of triumph. We do something called the power of one, where we have an individual who has taken a passion that they have, and it has become larger than they could have ever imagined. We have segments called a senior sidebar. Not that they are just for seniors, but they are programs that you'll look back on and say, if I had known then what I know now. Those are the kinds of topics we cover and discussions that we have on that, and keep you updated with those kinds of things. And then we have nights like tonight, which is clearly a time to turn down the volume of life and just be ready to receive. These segments are called E2, Evening of Encouragement, and I bring you two poetic offerings, if you will, and hopefully they will uplift you and touch your heart and encourage you a little bit along your life's journey. And tonight is even more special because I do have two offerings to read to you. But in addition to that, if you are on the line tonight, you're going to get a sneak preview of some things that are going to be happening in the second quarter. So if there's anybody you want to share this with, anybody from the morning crew or the night shift that you think needs to come on and hear and see a little bit about what's coming up, that would be great. So be sure to share this broadcast tonight. I'm excited about the second quarter. I know that we started planning at the beginning of the first quarter, even the last part of the year. So I'm real happy to be able to give you a sneak peek of some of that tonight. But I think I'm going to go ahead and get started. I do have two pieces for you this evening, and I'm going to start with one that's called Busy, because that is something we all are. Busy can get us out of balance. busy can put us in a place where we are not doing the things that we want to do or think that we should do. Hey there, Victoria, and good evening to you, Paula. Glad to have you on this evening. So busy, it can put us at a place where we sometimes miss things that God has for us or wants us to pay attention to, because we are on the hamster wheel. We are just going, 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 going. Sometimes we need to stop. Sometimes we need to just pause, and sometimes we just need to slow down a little bit. But here's busy. I give this to you tonight. Um, Busy. We're so busy. But what are we busy doing? What is taking up our time? What are we pursuing? We're ripping and running all day long. We are always out of time. But what have we really accomplished? And what has been on our mind? We think we take time to prioritize, put things in order on our list. Yet we look around at the end of the day at all the things we've missed. We use words like be intentional and things like get a strategy. There's nothing wrong with any of that as long as those things help you see a mighty God in everything. Because if He's not in your plan, you won't make it to the winner's circle. You'll be on the board marked also ran. Do the things we're busy line up with being ambassadors for Him? If not, I hate to bring bad news, but the outcomes just might be grim. Are you being intentional in what you say and think you're supposed to do? Have you included seek His face so that He can guide you through? So you can receive His strategies according to His will? Or do you find yourself so busy you can't receive because you can't get still? And really hear His voice and discover your part in His master plan? Or are you just in the hustle and bustle, being neglecting the great I am? Stay focused on the Father, for He is forever faithful. Never get so busy that you forget to just be grateful. Be as grateful for all the things you have and all the things you've lost. For anything you deem worthwhile, there's a lesson and a cost. This season will catch you off guard, busy from night till noon. But we better be busy with the things of God, for He is coming soon. Get busy having the heart of God in whatever your assignment is, because the only things that really matter are the things marked His. How busy are you? Do you get to that place where you're busy doing things, and if you had to stop and look at them again, you think, was this necessary? Or was this just something nice? What things am I putting at the top of the list? I know a lot of times we rearrange that list many times during the day. I know I do. I'll start out and say, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And yet we don't know how to keep from being interrupted. And when we're interrupted, we end up being disrupted because we get distracted and we're off task and we are out of place and we're not doing the things that really matter, or the things that are important, or the things that sometimes are difficult to do. Everything on your task list is not an easy thing. Everything that you're assigned to do, you are not, it's not that you're not prepared for it, but it's just hard or it's uncomfortable. And we like to stay away from the things that are uncomfortable. We don't like to do the things that would put us at a place where we are not in control, which we never really are. We think that we are. We like to pretend that we are, but we never really are. God is leading us and He is guiding us. And if we are listening and if we have a heart for God and if we want to do what God wants us to do and we want to be in His will and do things His way, we've got to be able to know how to put on the brakes sometimes. We've got to know how to not be so busy that we can't hear him, so busy that we can't be obedient to the things that he tells us to do and to be the things that he tells us to be, because we're different things to different people a lot of times. And it's not a bad thing, but it is something that we need to be aware of, and it is something that we need to sometimes yield to. I was in a situation one day, and I wanted to go and speak to an individual, and I couldn't get to them. I just felt a strong need to just speak to them, just let them know that everything would be all right. Their countenance said that they were not in a good space at the time, but I couldn't get to them because I was being pulled in a lot of directions. We need you over here. We need you over there. Can you come here for a minute? I just need to say this one thing. And sometimes our days go like that. And when they do, we run out of time. We simply run out of time, and yet we haven't done the things that are really important. And we talk about that a lot, and we've talked about that a lot with the village when it comes to children. We're busy at work. We're busy on the phone. We're busy talking to people. We're busy doing things, and that child wants and needs your undivided attention. They're pulling at your skirt tail. They're pulling at your pants leg, and they're looking up at you and mommy, 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 daddy, 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 daddy. And we're saying, just a minute, I'll get right to it. I'll be right there. Stop. Stop for a minute. Stop for a minute. Your presence is important in different situations. And it is important that you have, what do I want to say? That you have that litmus test, that discernment, that peace enough about you so that you can readily hear what it is God may want you to do. And that brings me to another piece, because we don't want to get so busy that we are too busy for something that I call divine appointments. God, in his infinite wisdom, places folks in our lives every day. They are our divine appointments, and there's something we must do or say. One day, as I was shopping, a young man caught my eye in line. There was something about him that made me ask, could this appointment be mine? I tried to engage him in conversation, but he didn't have much to say. Then God whispered, tell him I love him. And when I did, he turned away. I don't know what burdens he carried or what was troubling him so. I don't know why his demeanor was down, but there is one thing I know. Whatever caused his discouragement no longer had to be. I heard the Father whisper, he just needs to get to know me. While we may not have had a discussion, while no real dialogue ensued, as I tried my best just to be polite and he tried not to be rude, I know that a seed was planted. I watched as he hurried by. Though he tried to hide, I could see the tear that fell from the corner of his eye. In that split second, he glanced my way with a smile forming on his face. And I knew right then God was entering in and filling an empty place. Take a moment. Take a moment. Speak to someone. Say something loving and kind. You'd be surprised. Just that moment of peace will keep God's love on their mind. Divine appointments. We don't want to be so busy that we miss our divine appointments. Hey, Bernice, good evening to you. Glad to have you. Thanks for coming on tonight. We don't want to miss our divine appointments. We don't want to be so busy that we miss them. And sometimes we're looking for someone and something to do, and somebody is looking for us. Somebody's looking for us. So in all of our doing, in all of our busyness and all of the assignments that we have and tasks that we have and all of the things that we do, we have got to make sure that we are making time for God. We've got to make sure that we're making time to hear his voice, because the clutter of the day and the busyness of the day can sometimes get loud. Loud. That's why when you come on the program before we go, and I invite you back, I tell you, turn down the volume of life. Life can get loud sometimes. It's just because of so much that's going on, so much that's going on around you. You're trying to get to your destination. You're out in traffic. I don't know what is happening in the traffic in North Carolina these days, but everybody's trying to go somewhere at 90 miles an hour. And you have to have defensive driving like never, ever before. And you got to have prayer. Before you leave the house, you've got to have prayer. You've got to pray over yourself and pray over your children and pray over your route, traveling mercies, whatever. But we have got to keep ourselves prayed up in this season because things are happening. They're happening quickly, quickly. And we have to be at a place and a posture where we can hear God and we can be sensitive. That's the word I was looking for, to be sensitive to the things of God and the assignments of God. So if you've had a divine appointment lately, put it in the comment section. Say, yeah, I had one. I slowed down long enough to hear what God had to say. Somebody crossed my path and I was able to give them a kind word. And sometimes you don't even really know why. Why am I at the store right now? Why am I at this particular place right now? What made me stop and come over here? Why am I doing this and doing that? I remember one time I was out shopping and I had gotten into a pattern where Monday was kind of my day. Monday was my day that I sat still, that I was doing writing, I was doing things that kind of kept me close to home. But this particular day, I was trying to go to the bank. The bank was closed. So why is the bank closed? And tried to go somewhere else, and I couldn't do that, couldn't get that done, couldn't make that happen. And and God whispered to me and he just said, Monday, Monday. And I thought, that's right. I need to just go back to the house. I need to sit still. I need to be still and let him guide me into what he wanted me to do. And that's what I did. And I came back home and I hadn't been in the house 5, 10 minutes. And my phone rang and I answered the phone. And it was a young man that I had wanted to witness to. And have you ever been in a situation where you said, gosh, I think I missed something. I think there was something I was supposed to say to that person or something that I was supposed to do. And God, if you give me another chance, if you give me another opportunity, if you open that door one more time, I'm going to be able to do it. And that was a situation with this young man. He had been diagnosed with AIDS, and it was very interesting that no one had difficulty saying that he had it or pointing to him and saying what they thought he must have done in order to have it. But he was healed. God did his thing, but nobody would believe that. So when I had a chance to talk with him, I thought, God, there were some things that I just felt like I needed to say and didn't get a chance. So when that phone rang and it was him on the other end, I thought, thank you. Thank you, Lord, for giving me another opportunity to tell him about you. But if I had kept moving, if I had kept in that posture of being busy and going and trying to do when I should have been in a place sitting still listening, I would have missed that opportunity. So God speaks to us. Life speaks to us always, always in different ways. And when it does, we got to be able to hear. And we can't hear if we've got so much clutter and things going on. So be sure that you are aware of the busy places in your life, and then you can make your divine appointment. How about that? I hope you enjoyed those two offerings that I had for you on this E2, this evening of encouragement. And now I got some stuff I gotta show you. I gotta show you. I gotta show you. I have had asked. I have asked you. Well, I guess since January to save the date, save the date. And there were two dates in particular that I was talking about. And one of them is coming up very, very soon. As a matter of fact, it is right around the corner. And if you don't have your newsletter, if you are not subscribed to your newsletter, I'm going to ask Alan to put that banner up right now, that HTTP banner up. Right now, if you don't get a When Life Speaks newsletter, Alan has got it up there. He's going to leave it up there for a little bit. And be sure that you write that down so that you can subscribe to the newsletter. Now, the newsletter comes out every first Monday, the first Monday of every month. And there's some information in there that are announcements. There are introductions to people who sometimes become guests on our program. And just a thought, something to make you think. This newsletter is going to be coming up this Monday, so it's coming up in just a few days. But when this issue comes up, it is going to have some information in it that you are going to want to know about. But because you are on When Life Speaks tonight, you get a sneak peek. So, Alan, if you can put that flyer up, I would appreciate that. And they will get to see exactly what is going to happen on April the 29th. It is going to be the first one of these, not the first one I've ever done, but the first one I've done in a long time. And it is going to be a reading for His glory. And you will be first partakers of the two newest releases that I have done. One is called And It Is So, and the other is called Masters of the Mask. And I am going to be reading from both of these books on Saturday, April the 29th. It is going to be from 1 to 3 p.m. The location is right at the edge of Briar Creek. So for those of you who have appointments and assignments at 4 o'clock over near Prospectus Drive, and you know who you are, uh, it will not be a problem. The location for the reading is about 15 minutes away, if that much. Away from that, so the 4 o'clock appointment will not be missed. Hey there, Minister Angie, and tell the girls I said hello. Give them big hugs from me. Those are two of my divine appointments. I love those little ladies. But a reading for His glory. Now, in the newsletter, it's going to tell you exactly how to sign up, but it's going to ask you to be sure that you check your emails, check your text messages, because some of you will be getting uh, invitations that you can RSVP to. And if you want to do it that way, you can. This is free admission. But space is limited. It is going to be a very intimate setting. It's not going to be long. You will be able to purchase these books that day. That will be the first time that they will be available. And it's a setting where you can ask questions and we can have conversation. And whatever it is that you want to know about the books, the writing, or the things that are coming up, you can feel free to do that. That is a reading for His glory, and it is Saturday, April 29th, 1 to 3. For those of you who are a part of the 8 at 8 broadcast, and it is so, came about because we had selected the best of those writings and readings, I should say, and we have compiled it in a book. This is volume 1. We will do a volume each year until we run out and until God runs out of things to say. Masters of the Mask is a little bit different. Um, And I'm not going to tell you about it today. Not going to tell you about it today. But it is something that you are going to enjoy. It has gotten very good comments about it so far. And I'm just happy that I'm going to be able to share it with you. Thank you, Alan, for putting that up. And if you don't have access to the newsletter, if you don't get the newsletter, if you don't want to subscribe or any of those things, you know how to reach me. You can reach me at speaklifewithandrea@gmail.com. That's speaklifewithandrea@gmail.com. Someone has already reached out to me to reserve 5 spaces for that day. So if you want to come, I advise you to get in touch with me as soon as possible and let me know, because this is one where we will have to cut off the count. We will have to cut off the count because we do not have that much space available. So please, this is part of the journey, and this is the first thing that's going to happen right out the gate in the second quarter is a reading for his glory. We will have guests during the second quarter that have been on with us before, that have had tremendous stories of strength and testimonies of triumph. Some are new, some are just joining the ALH Broadcasting family, so we're going to have them in. And in May, we are going to begin to start our ticket sales for the June event. We're going to close out this second quarter strong because we are going to celebrate being in broadcasting for 5 years with an event called Make It Count. Make It Count. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to have some of our former guests to come to that event. All of the programs on ALH Broadcasting will be participating. They will have their tables set up. They will have their guests there. And the guests that have participated, some of them from our prayer programs will be there that evening. And it just promises to be a good time. We're going to have heavy hors d'oeuvres. I'll put it that way. Somebody already asked me about the attire. The attire is going to be casual chic. It is going to be an late afternoon affair. And all that information is going to be coming out in May. So we're going to take it a month at a time. Right now, we are focused on a reading for his glory. I love to do those. I love to do those because I love to speak the words that he has given me. And I am so grateful that he is providing this opportunity and opening this door for it to happen. Now, I got one last thing because our E2 programs are not long programs, but there's some things that we're going to do differently, and we're going to transition into the second half of the year, but we're building those things this second quarter. So I don't do these things by myself. I don't do them for myself. I appreciate every listener, every person who comes on to every program, not just my programs, but all the programs on ALH Broadcasting. But for me, I want to do some things and open some things up differently for When Life Speaks, for my Thursday program, for this program that you're listening to right here. And it is going to require me to have some, some guest hosts. And we're working on how we're going to format that and the different things that we're going to do. If you are interested in being a part of When Life Speaks, the program that comes on Thursday evenings, be sure that you contact me at speaklifewithandrea@gmail.com, or as you listen to the programs, to just put in the comment section, I am interested. It's not going to be anything difficult. It's not going to be anything that you're going to shrink away from and think, oh, no, I'm not prepared. I can't do that. Many of you have wonderful comments and information that you share with us. Hey, Angie, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to put your name down. I got you. I got you. And I had a couple of other people to respond as well. I will be getting in touch with you with details. The details are going to be coming soon, 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 very soon, so that in July we can kind of start off in this new thing that we're going to do. God hasn't finished downloading. And what he said is all we need is a yes, is a yes. Just say yes. And know that whatever you say yes to, if it is by God design, he has already equipped you. He has already prepared you. He has already put everything in you that you are going to need. And I promise you, I would never put you in a position to make you uncomfortable. Sometimes people have to nudge us to do things. Alan Chafin, CEO of SIBN.net, had to really, really, really nudge me. And that was a strong nudge to get me to go live like this, because I fought it tooth and nail for a while. I said, no, that's not for me. I like radio. Let me just stick with radio. I'm going to do that. And this is one of the best things I've ever done and the best changes I've ever made. So I'm glad that I listened to him and didn't fight God and did what was designed for me to do. So I hope some of you out there will also, because like I said, you've got good thoughts and good nuggets for us to think about. I've seen it in the village when you all respond to topics that are out there. So if anybody else, Alan said more like boot, not nudge. And he's right. I'm not going to say that he's not right, because he is, you know. And sometimes it's tough. It's tough coming out of your comfort zone. But when it's God, let me tell you, it is smooth. It is smooth. And this has been a smooth transition for me. So I know there's some other things that he wants me to do with When Life Speaks. And I know I'm not supposed to do them alone. So for those of you who would want to participate, want to work with me, and want to be a part of the strategy that God has and what he is going to unfold, just let me know. Just let me know. And we're going to make some different things happen coming up the second half of the year. But in the meantime, if you want to join us on, if you're local, if you know someone who's local who may want to participate or that you think might enjoy a reading for his glory, be sure to let me know. You can send me an email and just tell me how many seats to reserve. You can do it through the RSVP invitation that a lot of you will get. You'll either get it by text message or you may get it in your email. I do not have everybody's email address and information. So if you don't get it that way, it's not because you're not invited. It's just because I don't have that information in order to be able to send it to you that way. So be on the lookout on Monday. Your newsletter is going to come out and you're going to see all the details as to where this event is. And I tell you what, I look forward to it. I look forward to reading for you live and in person and being able to share his words in a different way. So that's it. That's all I have for tonight. I hope you have enjoyed E2 and the readings this evening. If it is anything that you need from me, like I say, contact me, speaklifewithandrea@gmail.com, and I will be more than happy to answer you. If you have a prayer request that you want to leave there, you can leave it there as well. And we do prayers for people on the 8 at 8 program on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as well. So that's it for the evening. Again, I thank you for being with me tonight, and for turning down the volume of life just a little bit for just a little while, because whenever you do that, you are ready to receive. And when you're ready to receive, you know that when life speaks, you speak life. Good night, everybody. See you next week, 7 p.m. right here, When Life Speaks.